We are live right now, and if you were to see my setup, how I have set up this camera right now, I have a microphone and I have a cooling fan, especially for the mobile phone, so it does not get heated up and it does not get slowed down. And these are just a couple of news which I been experiencing lately, and one of them was the thinking of humans as such. The more, somehow from the day you were born, it doesn't mean from the childhood age or whatever, you get so many beliefs, so many I say not only beliefs that your parents teach you, not only the beliefs that in your school they teach you, but when you grow up and you somehow reach your, as the Martians said, the cycle of when you are standing on your feet, you start to get curious about this spirituality. And there was another information today which to me was interesting, was that the things that kick open our spirituality or kick open our third eye, you may say, are sometimes things as deja vu, are sometimes things as, hey, it really manifested somehow, or things that I am not surprised anymore about this life, that everything is not a coincidence. And these things, when they put you, are in a state that you are like, hey, now this is something not normal, hey, this is something out of normal, hey, this is something, we would say also magical, this is something that is supposed to be not a coincidence. When you are in this state, you get a little bit blurred, you're like, okay, it's a shocking surprise, or some might say somewhat in different words. But from this state, human mind somehow locks or unlocks, in other words, and bursts into spirituality. It could be something explained a little bit differently, that when we get into such a situation when we see, so for example, every day in our life we are proceeding with our normal programmatical mindset. We are doing this stuff by program. What are we doing? We're going outside, we're going to work, then we come home, and do that, and all of a sudden something happens, I wished for I don't know, for example, for a flower, and all of a sudden the next day somebody brings me flowers. Or maybe I wish for something else and I thought, and there it is. And this is the state when human mind gets into a loop or a locked position or an unlocked position, that it kicks in the spirituality, because the human mind gets into a unexplained state in such a way, and it gives the third eye a kick. Hey, open up, get us information what's going on, open up, give us an explanation what's going on, give us a spiritual, a psyche reading from the higher, what's going on. And these states we can experience much more when we do start to meditate, and when we do start to ask for miracles, ask for and wish for, imagine, and so on. So this was an interesting information. But talking about the mindsets, what was it? So we start to, as children, we grow up. By the way, if you hear if the sound is okay or wrong, write in the chat. When we grow up, we get the programming in our mind from the things around. Not we, but every individual, depending on its own character or his personality. And then we get to a little bit deeper into the stuff of spirituality. We get in this topic of, I'm trying to be spiritual, or getting in this topic, I want to learn spirituality even more, or maybe somebody told us that it's how it's supposed to be. And about spirituality, it doesn't mean that whatever we are and who we are, it doesn't mean whatever we are and who we are. About spirituality, it doesn't mean wherever we are and who we are. About spirituality, I mean these ideas that every day, nearly sometimes I hear it, that to be, for example, let's say a Jewish, it doesn't matter what the name, because there are so many new belief systems like the some kind of, what's going on, the event, the end of the world, some kind of a energetical phenomena that will be happening, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So when we are, this could be called a religion in this story, how I could explain this. And when we are in this religious type of a belief system, there will be a new event coming, there will be the end of the world coming, and so on and so on. That Jesus may be coming, or God may be coming, or the devil, or something. We are programming ourselves into a new, let's say, and let's speak in a new sort of a belief system. And the funniest part of this, what I sometimes, well, yesterday I was thinking about this, and it was a little bit exciting for me, is that to be normal, in a normal, to make you feel more of a Jewish, or more of a Christian, or more of a Catholic, whatever, I don't know exactly the names, or it doesn't matter actually, to be more of a person who waits for the energetical changes, or who waits for the aliens to come, I have to be, and I have to feel more of it. So definitely, if somebody pronounced this new religion or new belief system, it has to pronounce also, and has to put out to humans also a limitation. To be more of a Christian, you have to do this, and to be more of Christian, you have to stop doing this. You have to restrict. You have to have allowance and restrictions, and basically both of them are restrictions. So to make you feel more of a person who waits for the end of the world, you have to get your stuff. You have to buy food more. You have to get everything more. You have to, you have to prepare to be a person that is waiting for an energetical awakening. Let's say the new event, what's going on, I don't know anything about it, but anyway, I heard it. You have to share the news, you have to start meditate, you have to do something, and you have to restrict yourself for doing something else. So to make a human feel more of a limitational mind, make you feel more of a limitation, or let's say how a human mind enjoys the limitations, the religious type of concepts, is to make him feel more restricted into a certain belief system. This is how you can make yourself feel more of the religion or the belief system you have. So imagine yourself from, let's say, from your birth to the nowadays, you somehow, how can you say, grow up, learn for the things that put you capable of being here, put you capable of doing the stuff here. And when you get into like standing on your feet cycle, you start learning from all around. You start accepting the programs, you accept the new restrictions. So you are a human, you're supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do anything else. You are a Christian, you are a Catholic, you are Jewish, you are a waiter for the end of the world, you are a mother, you are a father, and you have to have a billion types of restrictions. And when we dig in so deep into these restrictions, how we say, it doesn't matter in which field the restrictions you have, you start realizing the more older you get, the more these restrictions start to bother your day-to-day life, the more these restrictions start to bother your health. So actually yesterday I was thinking, man, I could not go into the forest, I cannot squeeze on leaves, I could not break a branch, I could not eat the things I want to eat, I could not think the way I want to think, I could not talk the way I want to talk. But it's not about me, it's about everybody. Like I could not be the self I truly am because I'm in a restriction pattern, because I have choose to, and somebody has taught me to be in this restriction pattern in which I am. So I started to think about this. No, this is not the way it's supposed to be. We basically here, humans, are to enjoy this life, to be free. And imagine yourself, why should anybody have to have restrictions? Why should anybody have to be in restrictions? Imagine yourself, imagine a tree. Imagine a tree. Does it have a restriction? So I should not grow the way I want to. The tree grows the way it wants to. Or can you put restrictions to a tree? Hey, you tree or flower, stop growing the way you should. Grow smaller. And the tree doesn't care about this. It just keeps on growing, doesn't care. But we in humans are taught to have these fears. We are taught to have these anger. We are taught to have these anxieties and our personalities. So it's much easier to, for example, to somebody to program us, somebody to guide us, somebody to, make us believe in sort of crazy things. And sometimes I imagine there are so many people believing in so many crazy things, and to me it gets exciting. So anyway, so for you and for me, for everybody else, I would suggest, when you come up to a new restriction, when you come up to a belief system for you, that you come aware of that this is a restriction, but I feel that I want to do something else, I want to be something else. Stop pointing your attention to these restrictions and go on and go for being yourself unlimited. And talking about restrictions, there was another information yesterday, is why do we have so many thoughts in our head, like dizzy thoughts, so many thoughts, we are constantly thinking about something. Wait. And the information was that, for example, there are things in our day-to-day that we weren't able to tell, or we didn't tell. For example, how I see sometimes is our body our soul is connected to the body. The soul is basically inside the body, and this energy or the soul's body with the sound and energy and environment and water around us crystallizes from cell to cell our physical body. It grows, and our physical body is being controlled by our soul, and basically it's being controlled by our feelings. And sometimes when we have this energy feeling that, hey, I want to tell this to a person beside me or next to me, this energy arises that we want to tell, but our mind and we block ourselves, and no, this is she or he will not listen to this information. It's not supposed to talk about this. I'm not supposed to say like this. Okay, now it's not the appropriate time, and we quickly block ourselves. And it's the same actually also to the things when we want to start moving, when we want to start going somewhere. We have this inspiration, we have this energy, we are already on our feet, and then quickly we block ourselves and we stay there. And these things are the things we have to strongly avoid, because when we start blocking ourselves in this way, when we start lowering our energy, when we start blocking our inspiration energy that wishes to express us, wishes to talk, wishes to share, wishes to do, wishes to go, when we start blocking this information, when we start blocking this movement, it creates the blockages into, let's say, chakras, into, let's say, the energy centers, how I say it. And for example, if you stop yourself from doing something, you stop yourself from speaking, sometimes people can get like a tight neck, they feel that there's like an apple feeling inside here, like an energy cloud, here. And then for them, this practice, or the most important practice, would be to start talking. Sometimes we block ourselves too much or restrict ourselves too much, but start talking, start doing, start talking. When you feel the talk, allow to talk. Allow the body, the energy to feel the inspiration, and allow it to instantly also talk, allow it to instantly be. And when we do start to block ourselves this way, and when we do block ourselves in the speech matter, I would say there was this information that our mind, this energy has been unveiled, and it went to your throat to move your voice to start talking, but then we blocked it, and this energy in the throat stays, or in the mind stays, and this energy moves around up and down, and it causes our mind to think a lot about speaking, to think a lot about songs, to think about anything else. It's like a unreleased or unused energy that we were supposed to use, and it was blocked, and it still exists in ourselves until it unveils out, until it's being used out. So one of the, also would say, meditations to release our energies, to release all these blocked energies, would be meditations like active meditations. In active meditations, we would get everybody together, in active meditations we would get each other together, and there should be somebody who is like a guide, who is like a teacher, who is like somebody that's telling us what to do. And we get to in a circle together, and then he tells us, okay, start clapping your hands, start waving your hands, start shaking your head. Okay, now start laughing. Everybody starts laughing. Please start laughing. Everybody starts to laugh, and there will be somebody who is like, ha ha, and he's already blocking himself. And then you go to this person and say, start laughing, and he's like, I feel like nerdish. I feel like uncomfortable. Okay, start laughing like this, and and that person may be even more like, or even more like, okay, I want to start laughing. It's exciting. And that person starts, okay, now it starts laughing. Okay, start laughing. Everybody jump and start laughing. And in the words of meditation, jumping and hitting our feet to the ground is a really important thing, because we hit up our kundalini, we hit up our energy. Imagine that there's a lots of energy coming from the feet up to the crown and around, like a torsion field from the previous channeling. Our hands are also the same. When we hit our hands, we give this kick for the energy. When we hit our feet to the ground, we give a kick to the energy. And many times when Enrico is coming, he's ready to do the channeling, and I'm ready to do channeling, and he bursts up my energy with the sound like but it's a high frequency sound. And then he does like with the mouth, with the teeth, so shake the brain a little bit, give a vibration to the brain, and definitely many times hit the feet on the ground, and many times hit the fingers together like this, and this bursts up the top crown chakra, the top channeling center. So when we are doing like this, we don't have to be in a preparing for a channeling to do this. We are preparing to release our blockages. Start jumping, start laughing. Because of the laughter, we release that we don't block ourselves, we allow the voice to be. And start hitting your hands with each other, start shaking your hands with each other, and then start screaming like crazy, like run around and scream and play and jump and put this vibration. And definitely I think, because when I think what would happen, many people can start getting tears. Many people can start to get cry. Will start. It has a high chance of somebody to start crying because he or she has blocked herself so much. Now that the energy that has been blocked is about to release, and if it was a heartful or a pleasurable or a sad or emotional feeling that's been called in our heart centers, it will start releasing, and from everything from the heart will start to come out by tears. And then what continue up? You definitely need to hug each other, go around and hug each other, and then jump again, jump, and then release yourself into a peaceful, relaxing meditation. Because afterwards, the meditation from this techniques that we powered up our energy, you would say, from these in this meditation, we would feel all the energy around us moving, but it doesn't mean they have to be like a strongly sensible feeling. The energy will still be moving, and just observe, and there could come out in your visionaries, in your sensations, in your memories, in your mind, they could come out different memories, and don't pay any attention to them. Different memories, don't pay just let them release. And I can share also an interview. In Russia there is this TV show, psyche readers or sixth sense experts, you would say, and it's really professional. I would say really to some degree the things I have saw there in the television in this TV show are really mind-blowing. Really, there was a dude who just perfectly read all the information, found hidden places, read all the information, find where somebody was killed and everything. And I interviewed one of these participants in this TV show, and it was an interview in English, so definitely some of you may heard, but it was a horrible interview because everything broke down, everything in technology, in microphones, everything broke down. But what he was telling is definitely, especially the same. But what he was telling, the changes that the changes that can happen to the people were like, the changes that happen to people were like they quit smoking, they quit drinking, they come out from addictions and so on. And so also many of these energies we are reconnecting. And also these energies, for example, and also these energies which we have been blocking for a long period of time also relate and can introduce us to being addicted to alcohol, to cigarettes, because many times when we have a strong feeling that we are about to release, we are about to let go, or we have restricted, it could come out painfully also. It can come out painfully, like a strong loss. Also, it can come out to us painfully. So many things, like these strong feelings that we have restricted, I will tell another experience about this, that we keep inside of ourselves for a long period of time, later on can come out really unpleasantly. For example, like a strong loss. And when this energy starts to rise, for example, and also a feeling of I have not experienced my life, the things I wish to experience, like sadness that I have not realized myself, I have not achieved anything. Also these strong feelings that are within us sometimes can come out, and we feel really strongly, and therefore to block these feelings we use cigarettes, alcohols, and so on. and also from these like shaking and screaming and laughing type of experiences or meditations or active meditations, we can release those energies from a point to point, and then when we release them, we don't have anymore this strong energy that can rise up to us, and that we want to avoid it, and we want to go away from it, and we want to feel sad about it, and we want to like start drinking and to stop avoiding it. I don't think about the overall world that drinking is something globally. I think many countries don't actually have these problems of drinking like in Russia, but it depends from the city, and it depends from the country you are in. So another experience also about people who get crazy. Also, it's the same about energy restrictions that we have kept so much within ourselves. I believe just shortly there will be another coverage zone problem, so I will keep an eye on it. There is another, but I have seen this several times. One girl earlier in her life, when she was young, she had a horrible life, let's say parents who fight each other and everything, and she started to feel so sad about it, so sad about it, that but every time and this sad feeling was so strong for her, because she's a loving and a nice person. It was so strong for her that she learned herself, when she see these bad things, that she start to block that sad feeling. And when we block that sad feeling, doesn't mean that we avoid it or it goes away. The sad feeling is still within us, and this is the feeling that we need to learn as a karmical part in our life, as a going back to the place where we came from, going back to the source. And these are the things that we need to experience and release, experience, understand what it is, and release. But she started to block it because it was so sad, it was so horrible, that this sad feeling of her, she started to block it, started to keep inside of ourselves. And maybe 10 years, 20 years passed, and she was in a relationship, and also the relationship wasn't good. She had children and so on, and she's starting to feel fears about her children, because she was about to break up in her relationship. And also these inner, let's say, bad feelings also cause us to have troubles in our relationship, because all the time we will have this sad feeling, and all the time this sad feeling will put us doubts, will put us disbeliefs, will put us and ask for more attention, will make us feel unloved, and so on and so on, and we will ask for our partner more and more and more until the partner will be fed up. So anyway, not like fed up, but the partner will reflect to you more of that feeling, and thus what you feel. And also, if you feel about being lost or losing a partner or a relationship or whatever, also you have that experience repeating until you experience this feeling, until you have these feelings. So about her, she was getting in a difficult situation, and the strong energy that she was keeping inside her from her childhood was now bursting open. But she has learned to block this feeling so strongly, and yet the situation has pushing herself also with the family, children, and working, and losing of the relationship, like living alone with the children. To her, it was even more shock. And then what happened? This inner energy fog just wanted to explode up, and to her it caused panic attacks. She started blocking. No, I don't want to feel fears. I don't want to feel these bad feelings. She blocks her, but energy comes up, and she gets dizzy, she gets panic attacks, she gets fears, she gets anxiety, in other words, gets crazy. And she went to a hospital to heal her. And what the healing processes do, they just release the nerve system, so you don't feel those panics that strongly and don't think that strongly. So in other words, definitely everybody from time to time has to have a hygienical active meditational experience and release everything what we have inside. And I want to share a little bit of my experience, and then we'll talk about, I was in a Snatam Kaur concert. She was here in Latvia. So my experience, I have had this, because so many information sometimes was coming for people which I meet in private, and I was afraid to tell it, and I kept it inside. You know, this energy is coming and I block it and it stays here, and I feel this like a pressure inside of my throat, like an energetical pressure. And then we started to do, in our seminars, we started to do a little bit of these active meditations, and one of them for me, which helped me a lot, was everybody has a small musical instrument. I had the drums, and we just start hitting the drums. We're just hitting drum. You know, everybody's playing like crazy, but in a rhyme, in a rhythm. Everybody's meditating and doing a noise, you would say. And then the task was to start doing a noise with voice, like and everybody does this like murmuring om sound, om chanting, you would say. We started to do these om chantings. The task was to, when I'm speaking, I think I stop breathing, and then I have these like and everything. And when we started to do these chants, there was a task to do it louder and louder and louder. And some of people are afraid to make a voice, to make a sound, because they are afraid to release themselves, and instantly they have been blocking themselves in one way or another. But you can sense by the voice approximately in which direction. And the task for me was I'm blocking myself also, because when I start making my voice, I feel like uncomfortable. I feel like, okay, somebody will start to laugh and so on. And then I'm like, okay, no, just close your eyes and allow your voice to be, And it, let's say, for 60 to 70% release, when I started allowing, and after a few moments, I felt how I want to speak, how I want to chant, it already comes out. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about this feeling anymore. I'm not thinking about how it would sound. I'm not thinking about how it should be. You just start singing, you start chanting, you just start making that noise, and the voice become clearer, the voice become beautiful, and the voice become resonating. And at that point I felt, wow, this is so great. I released my breathing, so it becomes more freer, and then started to make a more louder voice, but it wasn't like I was screaming all in the room, but still. And then afterwards I had such a great feeling in my throat. I had such a great released feeling, and it was like beautiful. And it to me taught me one thing, that when you want to speak, when you feel like speaking, when you feel this energy movement of speaking, start speaking. So I think about restrictions. What do restrictions do? What do energy blockages do? What do mind concepts do? I think I said plenty enough in this video. I think also, if you have questions, you can write down. I see there are a couple of people watching, and I will get to the Snatam Kaur concert. Beautiful singer, beautiful voice, beautiful meditation music, excellent. Snatam Kaur is in Riga, excellent. I must go there. I must see. And then I learned what is. Although I don't know whether he or they did it consciously. But definitely I felt what's public mass hypnosis. And public mass hypnosis, or let's say public hypnosis. Okay, she started to singing. She repeats one chant over and over again, like we are light, we are light, we are peace, we are peace, we are love, 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 tra la 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 la. But she was so funny. She was like smiling all the time, and in the concert hall where she was at the top, she was like la la la, we are light, we are light, we are peace, la 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 la. And she doesn't care what we think. She doesn't care at all. She's in her peace, and she's in a love state, and she's like, yeah, we are love, whoa, we are peace. and she was so funny, but she was so bright. And then sit up, everybody stands up, put your hands up, put your one hand like this, put your other hand like this, the Kundalini, blah blah blah. Sit down, everybody sits down, and just, start smiling, everybody starts smiling. This mass energy, this public energy in which you are with the people who are, takes over you, takes somehow over you. When everybody stands up, you start standing up. When everybody sits down, you start sitting down. When everyone starts laughing, you start laughing, And okay, now hold your hands together with the people next side of you, with the people next side of you. Okay, take your hands next side. Everybody's doing something else. A couple of people went away because this is a crazy cult, a crazy situation. And then, sit down, sit up, and you realize that you are not even thinking anymore. You're just doing what she's saying, and I'm like looking to Linda, and I'm saying like, we are under hypnosis, and she's like, we are light, we are peace. Like, okay, we are under a strong hypnosis. Don't do anything. And everybody stands up, and I'm like, okay, I need to stand up also, because if I'm sitting, everybody will be all like, he's sitting, and like, okay, this is so powerful. It was so powerful, and but I enjoyed it. So it's like a mass hypnosis. And then what she did next, which was professional, everybody sit down, and now, because these chants are so powerful, and this Beyond is our new album, please take this album when you go home with you. And everybody went to get and buy those albums afterwards. When I went to look, there was no albums anymore. All albums were sold. And that's how you do mass hypnosis. And that's when I realized it's a state of programming. It's a known programming, it's a known rhythm, it's a known method of how you do mass hypnosis. And mass hypnosis are really powerful, Everybody comes together. Hitler is like, get up on your feet, see, hoy! Everybody gets on his feet. Stand down. And he screams, everybody gets dizzy, now scream you, like Hitler, something. Everybody starts screaming Hitler, everybody's dizzy, nobody's even thinking anymore. You are in a mass hypnosis. I suggest to you, watch hypnosis in action videos, really powerful, and watch a professional, you will know even more. And then now what we do, we get in our tanks, and we blow up all the direction till there, and get angry. And when people are in those tanks, when people are in the movement, there has to be a remote controlled gramophone or a microphone or a speaker that constantly screams do, and a drum that hits and they are in the trance. And just in the moment the people are about to, okay, what am I doing actually? Where am I? What am I doing actually? They're being pumped. A lieutenant or a Hitler screams in their head, move, soldier! And they're okay, I'll move again. Okay, let's move again. Or it hits in the head. And then you get back into mass hypnosis. Then you get in the back this trance state of, what's going on. And everybody is telling you, what should you do? Do this. Never wake up. Do this. Pray to God 7 times a day. Come back 7 days later. New advertisement, new sound, politics, fear. You are inside of a huge mass hypnosis. You're in a huge mass hypnosis. And that's what I thought. Hey people, come back from these fields of restrictions. You're being in a huge mass hypnosis. How I see when people are in this mass hypnosis, they don't think by themselves. They are in a hypnotical state. They're in a dizzy state. They don't ask themselves questions, like, for example, like in a relationship, one of the partners most of the times is like, he is telling everybody what to do, and he has taught the others what to do so strongly, so tightly, but it doesn't mean it's like, could be one or the other, like male or female, it doesn't matter what others to do. And those others are taught out not to think. But a mass hypnosis is even more professional. You are in this energy dizziness. You are like a little bit in a floating, that you don't even think consciously about anything. And when you are in this float, you can tell everybody to this person. You can do anything to this person. Be an alien. He's an alien. be a this, be a this, be an aggressive German. Okay, he's an aggressive German. And Germans, what do Germans do? Germans fight. You know, what do Hitlers do? Nazis do? They fight. They go. And what do Christians do? And then you get confusing. Wait, what do we do? And then you ask a priest. Priest, what are we supposed to do? You pray to God every Saturday or Sunday, it doesn't matter, and you give 1/10 of the income to the church. That's what you do. And we say, yeah, but there's the aliens, you know, there's these channelings, there's these psychic readings, astrology, and there's this, you know, everything. No, that's Satan. You know what you're supposed to do. You have restrictions. Bible, nothing else. You know, I'm not talking about this as it's something bad. I'm talking about this that it's maybe for me the most easiest way to describe. It's not that the Bible or not that Christians is something bad or good, because to these restrictions and to these belief systems and to these hypnotical states, being realistic is a part of mental illness and under a heavy-duty hypnosis. Although many of us are being realistic. Being spiritual, being vegetarian, being vegan, being savior of the world, being all types of religions, being in a political party, being in a really businessman. I heard in one television, somebody was asking to a person, so basically you're cutting down trees, for example. And he said, no, I'm a businessman. I said, no, I'm mentally ill. I'm mentally ill with a disease called businessman. We asked one time Enrico, what's a businessman? And he said, business is when you help other person, a company or another business, helping him to make him business do easier, helping a system and being in a good relationship and understanding that person, that partner, that you are helping him and you are not earning from yourself. You are cooperating and helping each other, because one company or one business cannot do like all things at once. It can only do a chain job, and you are here to help him to do one other chain, assist him in his other chain. For example, getting him the clients or getting him the materials, like, you know, it's like an overall conveyor of functions. And he said there has to be also a relationship between you don't ask too much and you don't give too much and you don't give less. It has to be equally balanced. It has to be equally balanced out. So what else I wanted to tell? Oh yeah, Linda had a dream about Pleiadians, that she was in a wedding. Somebody has had a wedding, and all of a sudden the Pleiadians came down with a ship. But I don't even actually recall what was the scenario, how they came down. But eventually she was going in a room, but many people were there sitting, and this Pleiadian girl in the front, she was speaking perfectly English, and Linda doesn't speak English. She speaks bad English or nearly nothing. And this Pleiadian girl, when Linda came in the room, she told to Linda, okay, please sit down, and she sat down, and she was like, okay, I will just for a short period of time and I will go away because I feel like not myself here. And this Pleiadian, everybody was wanting to ask questions to this Pleiadian, and everybody stand in their feet and were waiting in a queue to ask these questions or something. And Linda said that to people, the Pleiadian girl answered, but she said the Pleiadian looked really exactly like a human person. Nothing like with white hair or something else. It was really like an ordinary human. And this Pleiadian girl was answering to people questions, how Linda said, from the perspective of their level of consciousness, you would say. They are for the questioner level of consciousness. And what she said is basically, some were asking, you know, my feet hurt, what should I do? And the Pleiadian said, you need to like get that cream and, you know, and put it on your knees, and your feet will stop hurting. And people were so in mind that I asked these questions, because that's their level of consciousness, solving problems, solving small problems. And people wanted to, and they went and they get these creams and they help them, but instantly they will have another question later on, something else will start to hurt. And also people who are in a different consciousness level, the girl started talking about different things. For example, if a person is in a higher consciousness level, and the Pleiadian would answer her, okay, your feet hurt. She said, pain is only observed by the source. And for example, you are the pureness and the perceiver of source. Everything is only being observed, or something, you know, something from a higher level of consciousness. And those people were like, okay, and they understood the deeper thought of the higher consciousness. It's something like, you don't actually listen for the answer, you listen the words that being answered to you, answer with energy, with higher understanding, with higher consciousness understanding. And you don't actually hear the answer. Unlike the first person, you understand, you just understand. You understand the source of your pain, you understand the source of why you have these pains. And then the girl turned to Linda, and the girl started to cry, because how we see it is Linda is a really, really old soul. And well, today's topic is most of all something of everything. And then what happened was that all of a sudden this source energy came to Linda, and she started speaking clearly in a perfect English language. When she woke up, she started to telling me words and ask what do these words mean, because she was speaking. It was to proceed, and it was the source of and you know, something that I actually do not remember anymore. But it was these modern, like you know, when people speak, like an American speaks English, they use these clean words, like the speech turns so cleanly. I do not use those words, but she started talking about these words, and I just said, okay, I think it means this, I think it means that. And she said that the Pleiadians, basically she came, and the Pleiadians have this source connection, and when she turned to the Linda, the source started to come through her, this prime source energy, and she started speaking beautifully, that everything is only being absorbed, and everything is being a reflection, something like this, you know. I believe many people have heard this somewhere else. Everything is a consciousness being reflecting to it back. You can only see the physical life, but you can never see the consciousness or the source or the observer itself. It is not in a physical matter, therefore it will not be observed or seen any time, or something like this. And we here, as a human, we are the proceeders of consciousness, or the source. And when she woke up, she was, man, I feel so beautiful, so loved, I feel so great. And sometimes she had these, you know, telepathical dream states. And then, but she forgot most of the information when she woke up. Maybe after an hour or so, everything was completely forgotten. And so that was also an interesting experience. And anyway, if you have any questions, you can write them down. I'm about to. I missed the road when I needed to turn left. Oh, ambulance. Somebody is in a hurry. Accepting the life. Yeah, accepting the life, accepting the things that happen. Yeah, we are not in the USA. We are in Latvia, and here it's, oh, I don't see the time. It's something around 7 or 8 o'clock p.m. At this point when I'm recording. I don't know in which time you will see this video. Anyway, at the end of this video, I just wanted to tell, just wanted to share that, I just wanted to tell, allow yourself to be more without the restrictions. Allow yourself to observe the restrictions, and whether these restrictions are supporting you, helping you, or causing you, let's say, unpleasantness or feeling of wishing to do this, but you're not allowed to do this. Also, about these restrictions, about this information, whenever you feel that you're blocking yourself, allow yourself to be more and more of yourself. Allow yourself for this energy to flow, for this allowance to speak, allowance to do, to flow freer, and allow yourself to do a couple of active meditations. And so okay, that's it. Enough of talking. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.